Suicide Pass podcast number 3. Dwight Howard recently has brought up some controversy. Conveer?
Well, there's some guy named Masan Elijah, and he's apparently Dwight Howard's ex-boyfriend. Me, stop laughing, man. Anyways, okay, forget this. It's not. Ignore what I just said there. So this guy, he's apparently Dwight Howard's ex-boyfriend, and he's alleging that he had a relationship with Dwight Howard.
Okay.
But it's there's a lot of it's not legitimate. So there's like people saying that they're fake. People are trying to show that it's like the conversations that they had that he posted are all like illegitimate. They're all like tampered with, sort of thing, and that he like threatened to like kill the guy Masan to hide the story. But the guy Masan, the boyfriend, the gay guy,
he's in the past he's made up some fake allegations against Playboy Cardi as well.
Oh, okay.
So we don't know if this is real or not. He did the same thing. He doctored some conversations between them.
So he's been known to fake stuff like this before.
Yeah.
So we don't know if this is really real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the pictures I've seen, people are saying were faked as well. So I don't know really. But if it's true, thing is, if it was fake, wouldn't Dwight Howard have came out by now and said something? I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's real, but you think he would have came out and said something by now, right?
That's true. It's
kind of
weird. In a day.
Maybe he's just waiting on like his PR people to like kind of like give him a statement to put out or something.
The thing is, like, Dwight Howard is not married either. I don't think he has had a long-term girlfriend or boyfriend, so it's not like he had an affair. It was just something that's been taken.
Maybe he's just experimenting.
The problem with this situation is the threats of violence. If that stuff is real, if he was threatening violence against this person, then
that'll fuck him over a lot.
That's really messed up, right?
But like, I wonder how it's gonna affect him. Like, as game wise, like, I mean, like, you know, like media usually blows up.
Yeah.
Blows it up.
He's currently injured glutes.
He is, but I'm saying like.
Yeah, it's a groin injury. You know what I mean?
No, gluteus maximus.
Okay, so it's
something. Like even how we see like in the media, like how like, even in Vancouver we see like certain players like Roberto Luongo, the media just destroy them, right? To a point where they actually want to leave the city, or maybe even like they don't even play to the level they play.
With Dwight Howard,
it's gonna be interesting to see how Dwight Howard handles this.
Yeah, it is gonna be interesting. Like, because this could just all just blow over. It could just become nothing, right? Like, it just be like a
it's all of a sudden
like a small little thing where it's like, oh, this is all bullshit. This guy was just faking the whole thing.
I swear, like internet trolls are the worst.
They are the worst, man.
Anyways, moving on from this, Popovich came out and said about Kawhi Leonard that he's a great player, but he wasn't a great leader or anything. And I quote.
I think I can agree with that.
Yeah, he said Ginobili and someone else was
Mills.
Patty Mills?
Yeah, Mills
were
the leaders. And when Aldridge came along, he took on the leadership role.
Yeah.
But nothing really about...
Those guys are veterans, right? Those guys are all like 30 plus. Manu especially is like, it was in his 40s towards the end.
But like you expect like a young superstar guy to come in and just like... Especially in a team like the Spurs where they're like like they have the culture of like grooming players, like where they like respect the leadership.
I see what you're saying, but like, just looking at like his personality, he's so like quiet and contained. So I can't say I'm surprised.
The thing is, the way he handled the situation too, like not refusing to play for San Antonio at the time when they needed him, that also like shows you like that's not a league what a great leader does too, right?
I don't know.
You play with your team. I mean, if you're signed with them, like like running away from meetings or hiding.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, the way he did when they were under contract negotiations, just because he didn't want to sign with San Antonio. At least meet with the person. I mean, he came down all the way to.
There are a lot of factors that played into that. Like apparently, like his uncle had a big role in that. Like
his uncle is his agent, or his uncle's friend is his agent, or something like that?
No, his uncle's his agent. Yeah, a lot of people say that's why he went to the Lakers because his uncle wanted to like get that sponsorship money.
He wanted to
he's gonna go to the Lakers. Sorry, that's the big rumor, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. We've heard that for a couple years now. I think, right? That Kawhi wants to go to the Lakers. But
he just wanted.
I mean, at this point, it's almost like a guarantee, pretty much. Like
I don't know, man. He's doing pretty well on the Raptors right now.
It wasn't Lakers. He wanted to go to LA or like a big market, like Boston or something like that. But he's willing to go to Clippers as well.
You think he stays in Toronto?
I don't.
I doubt
know.
it, man.
I
I don't
think he
know.
will.
I think it just depends on the playoffs. Like, let's just see how this playoffs go, then we can see like if he will stay.
This team could win the title.
I still see him coming back to the Clippers or something, playing in LA.
Yeah, I see that too. Because I mean, if your relationship with your former team, the Spurs, got like soured to that level, that you're able to just move and willing to move to LA.
Yeah.
I don't think just 1 year is gonna be enough to like rebuild that.
Yeah, exactly.
team.
I don't think Kawhi Leonard has any loyalty towards Toronto.
I agree.
Or will show
But
any loyalty towards them.
I think it just depends on the playoffs, though. Like, maybe he'll like be like a changed person, you know, like.
Yeah, the playoffs are gonna be
I don't
huge. If they get to the third round, I think even that's pretty huge, and that might be the deciding factor for them for him to stay. But if they go to the finals, I think it's like almost guaranteed that he stays. That's just my thought. I mean, I might just be naive about this, but
Yeah.
they are a really good team.
I mean, he did win with the Spurs too,
Yeah,
right?
a few years ago though.
and he's, yeah, but he's
before
still there.
this
And
dynasty.
they still
took
have a
over.
championship team if Kawhi Leonard decided to stay.
Yeah, they are.
Right,
Like
so-
if it goes to the Clippers, I don't know what the Clippers have right now. Like
Lou Williams.
Lou Williams.
But that's
all I know.
that's not a good enough team to beat.
I know, I'm just joking. That's all I know.
Anyways, moving on. Fultz is, as a report came out, that he's not going to be part of the long-term plan for the
That surprised the
76ers.
fuck out of me, dude. Because
Yeah.
Philly is giving him so much time to like fix his shot, like he's recovering from a shoulder injury,
Yeah.
and they're just like now it's like he's not part of the long term plans. Like I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they in like a win now situation? They want to trade him for like a big piece.
With Jimmy Butler in part of the team now, yeah, they are in a win now situation.
Yeah, right.
In a position. It's interesting though. It's like we were talking about this last week too. You weren't here. 76ers, I think one of the biggest problems they have right now is they don't have any shooting. Embiid can't shoot. Simmons can't shoot. Fultz is not even a great shooter. He has like the weirdest shot.
Well,
Jimmy Butler's okay. They have JJ Redick, but
one of
Can't
the best
shoot everything.
shooters.
yeah, sorry.
I said he can't shoot everything, you know.
Yeah, you can't shoot
Yeah,
everything, right? So
exactly.
I think the biggest problem. I think what you need to do is like remove Markelle Fultz, and then get some shooting. Especially when you go up against teams like Golden State Warriors. Like you're not gonna outshoot Golden State Warriors, but like you need a team that can shoot.
Yeah,
But-
you need some shooter. Like for them, they have Embiid who would completely dominate their paint. Like
The paint,
who
yeah.
would fucking guard on the
Not
Warriors? Who
Draymond.
could guard
Yeah,
Well,
Embiid?
if Cousins comes back healthy,
that's a big if too, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
So hold on.
That's for
You
sure.
guys think Fultz is a bust? You consider him a bust?
fuck no.
it's
been 2
it's been
years,
like
man.
a year or two.
It's been
Right?
one year,
So
and
I
he's
don't
coming
know.
back. He was
A lot of people
recovering
would agree and say that he is a bust.
yeah, I mean it's too
That's-
early to say for
Too early?
That's a
for
stupid,
now.
That's a stupid thing to say, in my opinion. It's been 1 year,
see.
and the whole year he was recovering from an injury to fix his shot.
It's interesting though. Like injuries, like do ruin careers. So we'll see.
Yeah, I
Look
know,
at D
for
Rose,
sure.
right? And
I
It's
think I don't know. I think it's way too early. It's been 1 year, dude. Imagine if someone said that about like a hockey, like Bo Horvat. Like it's been 2 years since you Levy. I know we're switching sports, but like it's been 2 years since you Levy.
I feel like in the NBA they have less patience with their players. Right?
Yeah.
They don't give them that time to.
I think it's just like a lot of the fucking people on like Instagram are just like stupid. Like I don't know if you ever scroll through the comments there. You guys don't really go on Instagram, right? I'm sure Devesh probably goes scroll through the comments.
I don't
You
really
don't-
go through comments.
A lot of people are just like, this is stupid as shit. Like with Fultz, like is this guy a bust? It's been a year. Like there's no way he's a bust, right? Or like
But a
Longo,
first
like,
overall pick that can't even shoot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's because of a shoulder injury.
That could play a part in him being considered a bust though if he never recovers, like his shoulder's still fucked up.
Yeah, but the whole point is they're fixing his shot because his shoulder was completely fucked up. Like
I
there's
mean,
a
If,
reason
if,
he was
if,
number
if
one
it gets
overall.
fixed, sure, I don't know.
I think we're going towards a game too in the NBA where like your point guards are good shooters. You look at Curry, you look at Lillard, you look at John Wall, right? These guys that can shoot, and you have like a guy in your point guard who can. His shot's like messed up. We'll see. I mean, even if you look at that draft year, LeBron James is already praising Lonzo, right? And you have Tatum who's just killing in Celtics. Is Fultz really? He's definitely not the best pick out of that draft year, in my opinion. But
Well, for sure, not
Yeah.
now.
and I think
Not
that
now,
maybe-
exactly. It's not
you-
now. He's been
you-
like how many games?
I'm not saying he will be. I'm
Yeah.
saying maybe.
what are the
There's a chance.
chances even?
Probably pretty low, but
Yeah.
like that's a risk you take.
He'll be the best.
because you're not always
I'll say
guaranteed,
it's
right?
pretty low just because of Tatum. So surprisingly
beast.
amazing.
And I think the Sixers are looking at that and like they don't have what they intended to have in Fultz anymore. So I think it's better to ship him out, build a team around Embiid and Butler
I
to win.
thought it was Fultz's decision that he didn't want to stay anymore because the 76ers gave him so much time to recover and like fix his shot and like figure everything out with him.
Yeah, but I think
but now that he's like kind of like seeking his second opinion stuff, that now Sixers are like, fuck it, like just whatever, we'll just get him out of here.
with Jimmy Butler
You know?
part of the team now, it changes everything.
It does change,
Right.
it does change everything.
They're not really in a win now mode. They are, but like they can still be in the win now mode in like 5 years, 10 years, right? Because they still have Simmons and Embiid. They're still like
Embiid, who's
they're
only
so
getting
young
better.
still, right? And
Of course,
they're not even like in their primes.
Yeah.
So,
But you can win now and
I know,
in
that's what
5
I'm
years
saying,
too,
like-
instead of just throwing
like-
everything away for 5 years. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. The problem with
so like, should they throw away Fultz? Should they keep him, or unless they can get a good deal?
if I were the 76ers and I have a chance to make the finals right now, but I'm still looking to build a team that can beat the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, I would trade Fultz to at least try building a team that can beat the Golden State Warriors.
That's fair.
Yeah,
And-
you want to get a guy that's like mid-20s.
But I think
like,
it depends on the return too.
exactly, like you want a guy that's like mid-20s, but like still like
Yeah.
really good.
And these are just reports. I'm sure they're shopping around right now. It's not like 100%
Yeah, they
done.
probably
He's
are.
gone. He's gone. But anyways, moving on. The NHL, the Ottawa Senators owner Melnyk,
Eugene
he's
Melnyk.
suing
his
his
business
partner,
yeah.
$700 million for failed new arena
Wait, he's
plans.
suing him for $700 million?
Yeah,
Holy fuck!
They're trying to make a plan to like locate. Where they're trying to create a new arena in the downtown center, right?
in
In
downtown
Ottawa.
Ottawa, they're trying to make a new arena. Yeah,
You know, their current arena is not even. It's in a suburb of Ottawa,
Is it?
Canada, I think. It's like
Yeah.
a 30-minute drive away from downtown Ottawa.
okay,
So that's part of the reason why their attendance numbers are so low.
okay.
And a lot of people, I mean, I've heard that a cab from downtown Ottawa to the arena is $60 there and back.
Wow.
Like, actually, no, $60 there and 60 back.
Yeah.
So like
Makes sense.
120
That's
just to go
insane.
see games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Unless you want to drive there, and I heard the parking costs and everything, it's all a hassle.
What about the transit? You know about the transit at all?
Dude, the number of buses that go to and from the arena, because their attendance is so poor this season, has actually lowered. Like, they stopped sending as many buses because I guess their transit system figured it's just a waste of money.
yeah.
How many people are taking these buses?
Yeah, makes sense.
But the last few years, it's been pretty bad. It's actually dropping even still. Last season, 2017-18, they averaged 16,000 people a game. For their arena, that's 85% capacity. The next lowest Canadian team is Vancouver with 95.6% attendance. And the only teams worse than the Senators in attendance are the Panthers, Coyotes, Islanders, Hurricanes. And other than maybe the Islanders,
Yeah.
the other three teams are non-traditional hockey markets, right?
Yeah.
Like
There is
Arizona,
down south.
Carolina, Florida.
Yeah.
So Ottawa's kind of dug themselves into a hole here, man. It seems every few months they come up with some new scandal.
Not months, every few weeks.
Every few weeks, that might be more accurate, yeah. And I mean, it's a Canadian market that's selling bottom 5 in the league, attendance-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting though. You have an owner who's like really unwilling to spend cap money too on its players, and you have him like trying to build new arenas. But it makes sense why now.
Yeah, every other Canadian team, their arena is in their downtown core,
Yeah.
in their city's downtown. So it's really strange that the Senators can't get this deal done, man. Or actually, it's not even the Senators. I guess it's just Eugene Melnyk and his partner kind of
Yeah.
flopped the deal. Because I know the city of Ottawa wants their team downtown. The NHL wants the Senators to be downtown.
Mhm.
It's
The fans want it to be downtown. But they just can't get it done.
it's
This arena that they have right now, how old is this arena? Like when did they plan to make this like suburban?
I want to say it was in the 90s when they had like a tech boom in Canada. So they thought like they're going to be getting a lot of money coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep improving and improving. But
Mhm.
the industry
fell
kind of
through?
died down a little bit.
Yeah.
And now that area is mostly just
suburbs.
farms and like businesses and shit.
Oh my god.
It's weird. It's an unfortunate situation.
Could you imagine like for us like we had to go to like Abbotsford to fucking watch games?
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine how much of a hassle that would be.
I'd fucking you'd
To
never
drive
want to go to
30
games.
minutes to go see a game.
The attendance would definitely be lower.
Yeah.
Their current attendance this year is 74%.
Jeez. that's
74%.
fucking bad.
That's pretty bad. And they're winning games too. Like you have like young promising stars. who are
People
coming
just
up.
don't want to bother going to games. I read this story. This guy was saying I want to say during their Stanley Cup run, even then they struggled to sell tickets. People, there was like so many people inside the bars and like the restaurants and shit watching games rather than to actually go drive to the suburbs to watch the game. So there are fans, but it's just no one wants to bother going that far.
Yeah.
It's interesting though because the owners don't really pay anything for the stadium. Taxpayers do.
Yeah.
So I understand. I wonder like what the problems are. Like the money's not is not going to come out of their pockets to pay for the arena. It's always the taxpayers.
Oh really?
It depends. It depends. Calgary and the Flames. That's where they're having the dispute. They don't want to cover the costs as much as the Flames want.
Who's
the city of Calgary?
Taxpayers? The city of the government doesn't want to pay.
The mayor, like
the city of Calgary doesn't want to cover the costs for the arena.
Yeah.
As much as the Flames want them to. They want to split it up a little bit. But obviously the Calgary Flames, their organization doesn't want to be spending money that they feel like they don't have to. I'm on the side of the city of Calgary here, though. I don't think the taxpayers should be covering all that money, man.
I agree with them too, yeah. Doing the right thing. It's interesting, though, because even if Ottawa does put up this stadium, and let's just say everything went through, it wouldn't go up for another, 2-3 years, maybe even 4.
Yeah, and they're bleeding, like, their fan base, their attendance. Every year, it's just getting lower and lower.
And you know what? Ever since Erik Karlsson left too, I think he was probably the biggest draw to the arena. Yeah. And now with him gone, they're going to be
struggling.
Really struggling, right? I don't think relocation's struggling, but they'll be struggling.
Oh yeah, they'll never relocate. A Canadian team will never relocate.
The best case scenario for the Senators at this point is if Eugene Melnyk just sells the team. Honestly,
Sorry.
The best case scenario for the Senators is if Melnyk just sells the team. And they get a newer owner.
Yeah, I know. They want a new owner down over there. I remember they have billboards up saying they want Melnyk out.
All the fans are going crazy, man. They literally crowdfunded a campaign basically to put up billboards that say hashtag Melnyk out. Because they're so frustrated with their team. Like, they're willing to spend money to just just talk bad about the owner. Because that's how bad the situation is there. And Melnyk has actually threatened the team with, moving. He's threatened to move the team before.
Really?
He has, yeah.
That's a bitch move, man.
There'd be so much backlash though if you even tried that, right?
I really doubt the board of governors, the NHL board of governors, would allow that, or
exactly the NHL wouldn't allow it, right?
I don't. Yeah, I think that has to go through approval for a relocation. It'll definitely not go through that. A Canadian market. There's already.
We only have 7 teams, 7 teams.
You know how many times Gary Bettman saved the Coyotes franchise from leaving Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I think he's gonna let the Senators leave Ottawa.
If he doesn't let Phoenix leave, you can't let Ottawa leave. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why isn't he letting Phoenix leave? I don't know this.
He wants it to succeed, I guess.
Yeah, he wants a team there. Even the NHL owned the Coyotes for a bit, didn't it? If I'm mistaken, yeah, they did.
They want to grab the potential market of Arizona, the surrounding area.
And the city of Phoenix, it's just a growing city too. This is getting the surrounding areas over there. Scottsdale is just growing, and the housing is just getting more expensive too. So there's a huge market to be in Arizona for sure.
It might take a while, but it's worth the risk, I guess, for them.
It might not do well, he said.
It might take a while,
but it's worth the risk, I guess.
But it's a developing city. Yeah. Phoenix is. And it was moving down south from Ottawa and Hurricanes, the Carolina. Burke had a criticism of the post-win celebrations of lately.
So after every home win, the Hurricanes celebrate. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So after every home game win, the Hurricanes would do this. In Vancouver games, they call it a Viking clap. So slowly you start off with a slow clap, and the claps will get faster and louder, and then eventually the Hurricanes would just go up towards the boards and jump, or do a domino effect, where one will fall, the other player will fall.
So every home game they do this.
Every home game, if they win,
they'll
do it. Which Burke had a criticism about it. He's saying it was pretty much Peewee hockey, and I disagree with it. I think HT, you agreed with it. You think this behavior?
Let me ask you guys, what do you guys agree with here?
I think the celebrations are very cringy.
Very cringy.
For sure.
I agree, they're cringy.
But I don't think they should be able to do whatever they want. It's whatever. Burke can have his opinion. It's to say it's Peewee or whatever. But if they're winning, Like obviously they're trying to like celebrate and be happy. They have low attendance. They're trying to get their fans into it and
They're
stuff.
trying to
Honestly,
make like a thing to look forward to after wins.
I'm not gonna lie.
Which I can't hate on.
I fucking love it, dude.
Okay.
Like we're talking about like Hurricanes with the lowest attendance, and
Yeah.
you're pretty much like doing something to help bring attendance
Exactly, now
or
you're trying to,
having
like-
fun,
Yeah.
right? I think that it's great. I like as cringy it is. I think they realize it's cringy, but it's fun,
Yeah.
right? And just let them have fun.
And
You
they're
know-
getting their fans into it, the Viking clap.
You
like,
know-
doing all
Exactly.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Sebastian Aho, Svechnikov.
Yeah.
I like the Hurricanes. They're a young, up-and-coming team.
Isn't he a deer?
However, you cannot tell me that is not the most Peewee garbage you have ever seen in your life. They're flopping around on the ice, rolling around, domino effect. And even in that interview, Brian Burke said himself, he doesn't blame the fans for liking it. He gets why they like it. But it's the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. It's like putting the Harlem Globetrotters on ice. If you took their worst stunts, the worst skills, and you put that on ice, that's what it reminds me of.
No, the
That's
thing
what
is,
it looks like.
you need that in the game of hockey, right? You need atrocious. You need to like get
You need-
cocky. You need players.
Atrocious.
Yeah, like
And don't get me
behavior,
wrong.
right?
Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those guys that's like super conservative saying I don't want to see celebrations in hockey when PK Subban scores. I don't want to see him do this or that. That's not what I'm saying here. My problem with this is it doesn't seem genuine. It's like pre-planned. Like we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this weird fucking rolling around Disney on Ice shit.
Well, you go to the NFL and you see someone score a touchdown. They do like the most atrocious thing too.
They're
and
like
like
pre-planned.
no, that's
Yeah,
in the moment.
that's pre-planned
that's
too.
in the moment.
Have
though.
you seen
They
like
just score.
They're always
what's his name? Tyler Lockett. He did the Allen Iverson celebration.
Yeah.
See, I
that's
don't
all
mind after you
pre-planned,
score a
too.
big goal. You just have like this
They
burst
won
of
a
like
big game for the city of Carolina. What do you mean?
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a big
regular
win.
Not
season,
City of
regular
Carolina.
season game.
It's the state
Regular
of
season
Carolina.
game. When's the last time they won a playoff game?
When they won the
2006.
cup.
Exactly. So start celebrating when you have some actual
Did they not
success.
fucking won a game?
No,
playoff
they
game
probably
since
won a game, but not a series.
Okay.
You gotta build up that success slowly,
Yeah.
one step at a time.
This is like their first winning season.
It
in, like,
just seemed like
I
something you
disagree
see in
with
like
what you're saying about it being the same thing as a football celebration. Because like when you see like a sick ass,
It's in the moment. It's in the moment.
Like Solani's machine gun celebration.
Yeah.
Is iconic.
No, but
It's in the
that's the thing. Those are like
You know what?
In the past they have been like original, but now like
Yeah.
if you've seen like a lot of NFL celebrations with the phone, with like doing the whatever they do like the Fortnite dances, they do
I
all
guess
those
I
bullshit.
guess my thing is that it seems like they're trying too hard.
The thing
That's
is,
what
you
it
know,
is to me. When someone scores a big goal and they start celebrating, or scores a touchdown, they start celebrating. It seems more genuine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
But
they just
this-
did it right now in the moment.
It's their way to get the fans involved, I guess. Like because
Yeah.
Sure. And I have no problem with that. It just seems corny. That's just all it is.
the thing is, you're just used to seeing it.
Seeing what?
Like football players doing touchdown and celebrating. If every hockey team starts doing that, those celebrations, it'll be normal for you. Be like, okay, like there's
No, I wouldn't. I would stop watching the sport,
talking
man.
about?
You
I would
know,
stop watching
I'm
the
saying
sport.
I'm saying that when football
I would
you would
not
not
watch
stop watching the
hockey.
sport.
I would not watch
I'm saying
hockey.
when football players do it, it's like it's as Harmy said, it's in the moment and it's like cool to watch. You're like, oh, this is funny, like this is dope.
This is cool to watch for Carolina fans.
Or
I'm just
Carol-
saying.
okay, you know what? That's not a bad. That's not
I
a bad
guess they
point.
don't really have
That's not a
much
bad
to
point,
look forward
actually.
to. Right?
No, I have to agree with you there. It is if you're a Carolina fan, like, oh fuck, you're the Viking Cup,
Exactly.
just fucking do it together, just fucking sitting at home, fucking clapping about me at the TV.
Right?
I wonder if they do that actually.
I think the extra stuff, the dominoes, whatever.
Yeah, the
jumping-
dominoes.
Yo, I thought the Dominoes was cool.
That stuff.
The Dominoes was
No,
cool.
it's cool.
Come on, like cool it there. But the Viking clap, cool. That's
I get to
that's
get-
lit.
I'd
though, right?
prefer if they had the Viking clap during the game. I don't know if they do. I don't mind that. But it's this weird spectacle that they just do it at the end of the game when
You
they
know-
just won
you
already.
know what?
It's like going for a victory lap
Spectacle.
as if you just won the Stanley Cup. Like you just won a regular season game. Like what are you guys doing here? I don't
They're not used
understand
to
this.
winning, man.
This makes no
Right?
sense at all to me. It's like, would you do that in the preseason? Because these games, like, it makes no sense.
I think because for them, they're so fucking like low that they're desperate for like anything.
Might as well just celebrate after every goal like that. Then just have everyone huddle in a circle
they
and
probably
start
do have a
clapping.
fucking Viking Cup.
Yeah, how do
Start
we know
clapping
they
over
don't?
top of your
Probably
head.
have a fucking Viking Cup. We should start watching more Carolina games to see if this happens. Like every goal, they have like the Viking. I can see that happening. The Viking Club becoming a thing that catches on.
It's catching on with us too. The Canucks.
Have it actually?
And he's staying in the East. Real quick, Luongo, another injury. What do you guys think? Like short career or
I heard that this injury isn't as serious as lower
it's
body
day to
injury,
day?
right?
But it seems like he's been getting injured more recently now.
Yeah, he's
He's short
30.
He's
Yeah,
getting
man.
old too. Sorry.
Is it short career?
I'm not sure. Like, it won't
career
live
ending?
out the
Getting
end of his
career
contract.
shortened because of
Career
injuries,
shortened, yeah.
basically.
He's 39 now.
He's 39 now.
Every injury's getting more. It's gonna be more and more likely to be
the career one, right?
career one now. The thing is with Luongo too, if he retires this year, if this is his last season, the Vancouver Canucks are gonna get hit with a $2.8 million cap penalty for 3 years.
But the Canucks will probably fight it.
And I'll get back to that after. But if he retires the year after in 2020, the Canucks get hit with a $4.2 million penalty for 2 years. And if he retires in 2021, it's a 8.5 million penalty for that one season.
If he retires in the final season.
If he retires in 2021, the last year of his contract.
2021, 2022.
No, 2021.
Okay, 2021. Okay.
Yep.
So he has...
$8.5 million cap recapture penalty to the Vancouver Canucks.
So
for that 1 year.
After this year, he has 2 more years left in his contract. I hope he doesn't. I assume he won't retire. He'll probably be put on the LTIR, like how Hossa was.
Yeah, and
just live out his contract, and then
hopefully the Canucks trade for him at the very at worst, and then the Canucks just trade for him and then stash him on the LTIR if the Panthers don't want to
trade
do it.
For long, give a draft, a draft pick,
or just future considerations.
Would that go against our cap if he's on? It still does, doesn't it? I don't
get a penalty.
I think at the beginning of the season it does, but it's some weird stuff in the
that's how Phoenix is taking on Datsuk and Hossa because they can afford to take on that cap.
Pronger too, right?
It's kind of iffy. I'm not really quite sure exactly how it works. I'll have to look more into that. But it's just interesting to note that the Canucks could be facing huge penalties.
8.5 in 3 years. That one's scary, man. When we get much better. Mm-hmm. And fucking just we want to sign him.
Because the Canucks window is going to start opening in a few years. So, I mean...
What's window start opening?
Their Stanley Cup playoffs, contending window.
Yeah, and every salary... especially the ones that we've been wasting on Louis Eriksson and Jay Beagle, it's essential, right? Every little dollar,
$1 million.
Every $1 million.
And Devesh, I think, said the Canucks could try to fight that penalty, but you never know because this contract they were signed before the lockout. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's kind of like a weird backwards way where the NHL goes back and punishes contracts that were already signed. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I hope that the Canucks don't get punished for this, but.
Especially since say if that rule did come into effect, Canucks would most likely wouldn't have signed that contract or offered him that contract, right? So it's kind of unfair to be
It seems like they just brought this penalty to specifically punish these contracts. So I'm not sure if the Canucks will be able to beat it.
That's
and
true.
There are other teams too that have these as well that we mentioned in other podcasts. But
regardless, I think he's had a Hall of Fame career and he will see the Hall of Fame one day.
I agree.
It's really hard though for a goaltender to make it in the Hall of Fame. That'd be my only.
But he's the top 3 in wins. He has a gold. Yeah. He has 2 gold medals.
Top 3 in wins.
I'm sorry. Yeah. He's top 3 in wins. He has 2 gold medals. He's been to the Stanley Cup Finals. I think he's top 3 or 4, but he's pretty sure he's top 3. And he's moving on, going to the West now. Joe Thornton is the top 11 in assists. Mm-hmm. He recently passed Mario Lemieux. Granted, Mario Lemieux played 500 less games, and if Mario,
we don't need to get into that.
I'm sorry.
We don't need to get into Mario.
Yeah, Mario Lemieux, anyways. But he's on track to beat Marcel Dion. He's 5 points behind him. So,
points or assists?
I'm sorry.
Assists.
5 assists.
Oh, okay.
He's 5 assists back. But what do you see, Joe Thornton? He's probably the best playmaker of our time, right? Or even
our generation for sure.
Of our generation, probably the best playmaker to ever see put on the skates. But
Jumbo's 39 as well. He's
how long do you think he has in his career?
He's 120 assists away from being top 5 all time.
Yeah, I was looking at that right now. He's
I don't know if he'll quite get there because he is slowing down.
How many assists do you think by the end of the season?
I think he has 8 in 15 games so far. 8 assists.
So
actually no, 8 points. So 5 assists, I think.
Oh, 8 points?
I think so.
So maybe 30 assists, 30, 40 assists more. Let's just say if he gets 40 assists
Let's say he'll get 30 total.
He'll beat Stevie Yzerman and he'd be 7th, which isn't bad, or 8th.
He has 2 seasons where he just does 40 assists. He'll get to 5.
No, thing is, last year, it's going to be hard to get 40 points for this guy, man.
Yeah, it is. 40 assists, too.
40 assists is
he's probably not going to touch Ron Francis, right? number
No,
2 spot.
no way.
No.
200
no way.
points. 200 assists, sorry. 200
That's
assists.
way too. He's already 39, so it depends on how long you think he's gonna play for, how many years he has left.
People, it's like a fucking Yager career. It just keeps
Yeah.
going.
But he's like super slow.
The thing
though.
about Yager is, he said himself too, if he didn't go back to Russia and not go back, but if he didn't leave for Russia and had a couple seasons there, he wouldn't be playing at NHL the level he did for a little bit once he came back.
What do you mean? Like,
It's just easier on the body. Like, they don't play like 82 games a year.
Okay.
All right, it's just
Okay.
it's just been easier for
They're
him.
less grindy. as
Less
well.
grindy. You're like playing 82 games
finesse,
consistently. Yeah.
Joe Thornton is actually in overall points. He's only about 22 behind Teemu Selanne for 15th all time in points.
Yeah, man.
I think he'll get it. He'll get it.
He's a first ballot Hall of
100%,
Famer for sure.
And you know what's crazy? When the NHL made their top 100 players of all time list,
They'll have
they
Joe
didn't
Thornton,
have Joe
and they
Thornton
put
on
Jonathan Toews in there. That's like the stupidest thing ever. Just because he's. Anyways, I don't want to rant about that, but you think Joe Thornton still has a shot about to win the Stanley Cup? Maybe this year.
With that team he has, they definitely should have a shot. Definitely. You add Erik Karlsson to that already like bolstered defense.
Yeah.
They just need to pick it up a little bit.
They're
Kind of
slacking, man, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they picked up
Joe Pavelski has picked it up recently. He's been picking up scoring a lot recently.
Just need Carlson to pick it up pretty much.
Yeah. And then I think
Everyone
when
else is
it
fine.
comes to playoff times, I think Martin Jones will come in clutch.
Yeah.
And the Pacific we always talk about, it's like the weakest. Division. I have like San Jose going all the way to the third round.
They have an easy path to the third round, right?
Yeah.
Tomas Hertl is doing pretty well too. He's about point per game.
Mier, I think his name is. He's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's point per game as well. Logan
Meyer.
Couture.
Meyer. I can't pronounce his
Just,
name.
I don't know. I'm just telling you just in case.
They have a lot of firepower on that team. Once they start heating up
Yeah,
and they all
exactly.
start going,
Yeah.
if they get to that point, which they likely
I
should.
think they will,
They
yeah.
have too much talent to not to, right? Way too
Exactly.
much talent.
They're currently second, by the way, right behind in their division, right behind Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary's been killing it recently.
Where are we? We're like third?
Wasn't it Rich?
Fifth? Nice.
Sorry, I missed it.
With games
Sorry,
in
go on.
hand.
Their new goaltender.
Who's Calgary's?
Calgary's.
Who's your goaltender?
Rich.
I'll look it up, don't you?
Richie.
The Canucks, though, they lost how many games? 8 in a row before finally winning one?
Yeah, we have 13 losses.
8 losses in a row.
Good.
They finally come back to earth.
Team
Thank
tank.
God, man.
Was it all regulation? Or just like losses in general?
Yeah, David Rittich, I think his name is.
Oh,
He's-
Rittich? Okay.
He's just been killing it recently. And I think I might
Unless
have been
they
wrong
find a
about the
goaltender
prediction that
finally.
we made earlier, where I think the Oilers will make it to the playoffs over Calgary. And you guys are
Mhm.
saying Calgary?
Yeah, I think you were the hard on Oilers.
I was on the
right?
Oilers side. But we'll still see, though, because Connor McDavid is still Connor McDavid. But under Hitchcock, we'll see. Even though I disagree
The
with
goaltending was like Calgary's actual biggest problem.
I
Because
know,
they
I
had
see-
Mike Smith. Who they had before that? It was Elliott.
Yeah. But it seems like right now they have a temporary solution to it.
Yeah. But it could be permanent, you know.
We'll
And
see.
the Kings are just shit in the bed, eh? The Kings
Speaking
are,
of
like,
Vancouver,
are they last in the league?
we're on them. Roussel got fined $5,000 for biting. It seems like all our players are just like getting into.
How do you guys feel about that fine? $5,000. I think
think-
that anything the NHL fine system is a joke. They fine these guys pennies. They don't fine them anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
Any-
it's not the NHL spot, it's the NHL
NHL
PA,
PA.
right? Like
I mean,
but that's, like-
$5,000 still $5,000.
but that's,
Sure,
like,
sure.
Yeah.
But the amount that they make per game is, when you put it in the context, is ridiculous.
the how they like find that salary is like the
Is it-
amount of days that
Is it
are
proportionate?
played, and then that daily salary can be halved. Like that's the max they can be fined.
If you make 750K a year and you divide that by 82 games, it's about 10 grand
Yeah.
a game.
So you
So
can only get
basically, even the worst players are only getting fined like half their
It's
games
even
per
it's,
game
it's
salary.
even less than that because it's like by day or something like that.
Oh, so it's the yearly contract divided by 365?
No, like the season, like how many days have passed in the season.
Roussel makes like 37 grand a game if you just divide it into games. Obviously, it doesn't work like that,
Yeah.
but
If they did half of games, then it would be significant. I feel.
So it would have been like close to 20K then, right, for him?
But
In
like,
that case?
does biting the guy's finger really deserve a half a
I think it's just to,
Games
Yeah.
I think it's
I think
just
so.
to like
set precedent?
set precedent. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
But,
we
like,
definitely just
do you-
find these guys for biting, man. Because then people don't fucking bite in the future. But 5K is still not
But
that much.
they're pests though. Like that's part of their game. there.
But then
It shouldn't. I don't think it should be. That's crossing the line.
Yeah.
That's not a hockey play, right?
that's just
Yeah, it
that's
isn't.
that's like on this level
It's
of
not a hockey play.
of Marchand licking
Yeah.
people.
Sorry.
That's like on the level of Marchand licking people.
Yeah, that's pretty much sexual assault if you think about it, like licking
Okay,
someone.
relax, Me Too movement.
Yeah, but okay, like a lick compared to a bite.
I know, but I'm saying like it's
I
both.
mean, Admin knows
involved-
more about this, but like, you know,
But Roussel
The
has
thing
been.
is, a lick is more sexual, whereas a bite is more aggressive. You know.
I mean,
So
what's
which
your
do you
opinion on
prefer?
that? Would you rather be licked or bit?
I'd rather be bit. Like
I think we'd all rather be bit here. I don't want some
Yeah.
weird rat nose looking guy licking me in the face. I don't know where his tongue has been. Fuck that. Just bite my finger, man. I'll take that.
Yeah, through the glove too, right?
Exactly, it's a glove as well.
There's no skin to skin contact.
Yeah.
Anyways, Roussel has
I would
been
like-
really effective for the Canucks too, in my opinion. He's been doing everything he's been signed for, better than the Jay Beagle signing. Anybody else anything else to say about Roussel?
Not really. I think he's been probably the best free agent signing we had
In the last off season, right?
Yeah.
in the last like couple off seasons, probably.
Yesterday we saw, I think, in a long time, anybody scored 5 goals in one game. Patrik, I think last time from I remember is probably Marian Gaborik from like 2007 or 2006.
I think that was the last one, right?
The last one. That's the last one I remember personally. I haven't really checked what was the last one, but Laine is scoring 5 goals. Someone actually won a Safeway $1 million.
Finally.
Finally,
Finally.
after seeing those commercials year after year.
You know that guy is actually he's not getting all the money at once. It's actually $50K a year for 20 years,
Not bad.
which is that's not bad, right?
Yeah, I think I'd
prefer it all at once.
I'd
Yeah,
prefer all
exactly,
at
'cause
once,
it-
but
Even if it was
inflation and stuff,
even
you
if it
know?
was a discount, like usually what they do is it's kind of off topic, but usually either you get more if you take it per year,
Yeah.
and if you take it one lump sum at the beginning, you get
They
less.
take more. They take more from you, right?
yeah, but
I've
it's
heard
still
that
worth
too.
it. Yeah.
Just to go back to the thing, the last person to score 5 goals in a game was Johan Franzen,
What year was
Really?
that?
2011.
2011. Wow.
I would never
The
guess
mule.
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
that guy was a beast before his career got short.
Yeah. Anyways, Patrik Laine, we were talking about. You said he wasn't as good of a goal scorer as you think, right?
He said,
Yeah.
okay, Harmy said that he wasn't as good of a goal scorer as Pettersson because Laine's goals were all on the power play.
I think I probably did say something like that. Yeah.
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 And plus, you got to factor in this is Pettersson's rookie year,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
and he's still scoring at a similar goal pace, even after Laine got 5 goals in one game, inflating his numbers a little bit.
It's interesting. We all agree that Alexander Ovechkin is still the greatest goal scorer in the game right now, better than
100%,
Patrik
yeah.
Laine.
Of all time, sorry.
I would agree there too.
Yeah, I agree with all
Greatest
time,
goal
but
scorer
in
of
the,
all
in the
time.
game right now,
Yeah, for sure.
we're
Even
talking
right
about
now.
this right? Alexander Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Is Patrik Laine number 2 after what we've seen? Do we change anything? For me, I still say Matthews.
I would
but-
say, I don't know.
It's
Actually,
interesting, right?
I would say Laine was a second.
Yeah, it's like from my observations, like what I see from Patrik Laine, the guy doesn't play defense. I remember seeing one game.
But well, we're just talking about goal scoring, though, right?
Yeah, here I'm getting to that.
Okay,
I'm getting to that. Like I remember going to a Canucks game and it was a power play for the Winnipeg Jets. The Canucks clear the puck and everyone's going back the blue line, right? Getting onside to get onside. And the Canucks players and Patrik Laine is like skating around behind the net, slowly making his way to the blue line, pretending to like go towards the bench, and then like before he gets to the blue line, he turns his body and tries getting into a breakaway, kind of like cherry picking. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Right, like defense. I guess it's still a power play, but like defense, I've seen notice is not really a strong point of his game too. And Alexander Ovechkin, really early in his career, he wasn't really considered a franchise player till he changed his game up, played defensively, and still was putting up 50 goals this season, right? So I think that's what Patrick Kane's line is lacking around too. Like a guy like Ovechkin can play both ends of the ice and still score 50 goals. I don't think Patrik Laine can do that. Or he's
But a
just
guy like
as a
Ovechkin's like a generational player. Like he's like
He is.
someone that can do everything.
But like he changed his game for like people to finally realize that like okay, he is that player.
He is like
Right,
an
like,
all around
right off the bat, like he wasn't really considered that. Like he was
Makes
putting
sense.
up 50, 60 goals, but that's in my opinion. But
Yeah, to go back to your other question, ranking the goal scorers after Ovechkin,
yeah,
I think I definitely would have Matthews over Laine.
yeah,
I mean, it just stems back to what I was saying last time, where a lot of his goals are off the power play.
Yeah, and we saw that game too with the Canucks where he scored that hat trick. One was a turnover by Pettersson, and Laine just had to be in the right spot in front of the net. He got that in. The third goal was an empty net. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean the best goal scorers can score in any situation. It's not just like empty nets or power play goals.
Yeah.
But he just proved
Here's
that.
how many
Sorry?
I said he just proved that with the 5-goal game, right?
Yeah, I didn't see what the 5 goals were, but that's still impressive. He's still one of the better goal scorers.
Yeah. No, just
who would you have after those three? If like we can, Devesh, who's your third after you said Ovechkin, Laine, and then who's your
Matthews,
third?
yeah.
Matthews. All right. Well, what about fourth? Who do you guys have in fourth?
Ilya Kovalchuk? No.
Pasternak.
I'm just kidding.
David
Pasternak?
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. All right. What would round out your top five if you guys had to pick?
missing someone.
John Tavares, he's a good goal scorer. 40 goal scorer consistently. Kucherov.
Oh yeah, Kucherov has that insane
Yeah.
shot.
Kucherov.
Yeah.
Even Stamkos too, but Stamkos has been disappointing this season.
I'll take Kucherov over Stamkos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No, I'm just
Recently, Kucherov. Stamkos
What about like
was a
Malkin
beast.
Crosby
As a goal scorer?
or
No.
Kessel? Actually,
I'm
Kessel,
interesting. Look, Crosby does have a Maurice Richard under his belt.
Two.
Two.
Yes,
Yeah.
two.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Say, what about Kessel? Maybe
Kessel, not anymore. I think no.
What about
Not
Skinner?
not this year.
what about Skinner?
Skinner. There's so many players you can put on that list, but they're definitely not
Yeah,
in my
they
top
are,
five.
and those guys are like,
Yeah.
it's we're reaching a level of like just all-around good players, but not like.
If we're
goal
comparing
scorers.
Skinner to like Kucherov or Ovechkin or Laine, I don't think he's there. He's not yet
Yeah,
to that level.
there's someone we're missing. I'm just gonna quickly look it up as you guys talk about this to see who like. I don't know if you guys know who the number one or like the goals leaders are.
This season,
It always
Yeah,
changes.
this season.
this season is Laine and then Skinner and like
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin, Pasternak, McKinnon.
We were talking about Brayden Point last time, right?
Yeah.
Brayden Point is amazing, man. Did you have him in your top 20, top 10 under 24 players?
No, he wasn't on my list.
You didn't have him on your list, eh?
I
I'm not
remember
listening
even Ham Atkinson was doing pretty
But now
well.
we're talking about. I remember I had Laine on my top 10 list, and we're talking about maybe Laine potentially not being there. But after that performance,
I still put Point over Laine, even after this.
I think it's always changing though. You can
yeah,
always like justify someone else being over someone
yeah.
else. Right?
Someone will have a good week, and then
I think by the end of the season, I think everyone would agree that Point is better than Laine.
really,
100%.
that's a bold
Come back to this at the end of the season.
Write it down.
Everyone will agree Point is better than Laine.
He's at 28 points right now.
And he's
Point
a
is
center.
amazing though. I don't know where Tampa players are pulling these players. I remember Tyler Johnson had this really one
I know,
fucking
right?
good year. Hey,
Palat too.
Palat, yeah. What was that line called? It was Kucherov, Johnson, and Palat. They had a name for that line.
Triplets or something
The
like
triplets, yeah. And they have Cal Foote coming up and coming. That defenseman, he's gonna be good.
that. How much money do you think Brayden Point would get in his upcoming
That's
contract?
tough. It's I
At
don't
least
know,
8.
8 million?
8 million.
But
The way he's playing,
knowing like Tampa, how they get their contracts done and shit.
what do you mean?
I don't know, man. Because like Stamkos only got like what did he
8
get?
million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
But-
got some
but-
salary cap magic going on down in Tampa.
The thing is, at the time, it was Steve Eiserman under the management.
But we don't know if Eiserman was negotiating contracts or someone else, right?
but it
I'm
was
not- I'm
under
not-
Steven Eiserman's management still. Right, usually the manager has the final say, like
Yeah,
what's this
no,
going to
for
be,
sure.
right? Like the way he handled the Druin situation was one of the best things
But
I've ever
that's the
seen.
thing. Like remember back in the day, people would say Lawrence Gilman was the one. Was it Gilman? That was
Yeah,
the
Gilman.
cap wizard for us.
Yeah,
What if someone else is doing it for?
yeah.
What
It'll be
year
interesting.
did Stamkos get signed? The 8 million last year?
2 years ago?
20, I want to say 16. I'm not certain about that.
I mean, he was doing okay. Like that's after he came back from his injury, he went from like a $10 million player to like an $8 million player. I guess his
But
point,
he
what his
could've
points
been-
were affecting, I guess it makes sense for him to get 8 million.
He
I wouldn't really
could've
call it
gone
magic.
10 million easily though.
Pardon me?
He could have gone 10 million.
Yeah, as like the leader of the team sort of thing.
Okay, moving on. Don Cherry recently came out and said that Nylander is not signing because Marner is in his head, and Nylander does not want to make less money than what Marner could potentially make next year. Agree or disagree?
I could kind of see his point there, where if he feels like he's a similar player,
Yeah.
and he knows that signing now, obviously, as the years increase, as you move on, players just keep getting paid more and more, right? As the NHL keeps making more money, salary cap keeps going up. So I could see he'd be hesitant to sign a long-term contract right now if he feels that in a year's time he could have made more money.
Yeah.
So I could see where Don Cherry's coming from in that regard.
Yeah.
But in reality, I don't know if maybe Nylander believes he's on the same level, but in reality he's not on the same level, right? Marner is a much better player.
But the bridge deal, why not sign a bridge deal? Is it Toronto, do you think, that's holding off, or do you think it's Nylander that's holding off? Of course, we're not inside anything. We don't have any inside info.
It might be Nylander, honestly, because signing a bridge deal can be risky. Maybe he doesn't have, I don't want to say he doesn't have faith in himself, but a freak injury or two, and you're just screwed. Your entire career is pretty much, you lost so much money that you could have potentially made.
But you see like bridge deals working for a lot of players. So you look at Bo
You have
Horvat.
to believe in yourself. You have to bet on yourself, and it's still a huge risk at the time.
It's almost like a gamble, and you also see a lot of players take long-term deals at a young age, right?
So my question is
like Hannafin, for example.
You don't believe in yourself that you can make enough money a season after signing a bridge deal, yet you're still hesitant to take like a $6 million deal that's being handed to you by Leafs.
Could you say that again? Hold on. Oh, no, sorry, I meant Chychrun, not Hannafin, when I was talking about the deal.
Like William Nylander.
Yep.
You're hesitant in your own abilities. So or you're talking about injuries that you don't want to sign a bridge deal, right? Because you don't know if you're gonna be worth that much 2 or 3 years.
I think it's more that, or you're just worried about the unknown. Like you don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
I think he wants guaranteed money. He doesn't want to gamble.
And he is getting guaranteed money. I think at least $6 million being offered to him right now. That's a lot of money. But he still wants to be worth Marner's.
I guess the difference is obviously where how much value he has in himself and how much, because he has to prove himself, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess getting a bridge contract is one of the ways to do that.
Yeah.
But obviously, I guess just in his mind, he feels he's worth more. But there's only one way to show that you're worth more. There's only one way to prove that you're worth more. You have to show it, right?
He only has a week left to.
It's 5 days, isn't it, or 6 days?
6 days to sign.
So he becomes a UFA after this?
No. He just can't play the rest of the year, and Toronto still holds his rights.
He becomes a UFA, or what happens?
No, Toronto still holds his rights.
Oh, okay, so they can still trade him and stuff.
They can still trade him.
But Mike Babcock's confident. He said that he thinks Nylander is going to sign him. But it makes sense. I wouldn't wait out
a year.
Wait out a year. Okay, moving on.
Even now, it feels there's only 6 days left, and no one knows what's happening. Even Bob McKenzie said, I'm not quite sure because things could change with just like one phone call. But even now, to the wire, no one has any idea if he's going to sign a bridge deal. I guess Bob McKenzie said that's probably the most likely thing that's going to happen, but no one knows for sure, right?
Moving on, if Nylander goes to December 1st without signing, who loses more, Nylander or Toronto? Toronto lost one of their biggest assets.
I think for Toronto's cup aspirations, they lose more, but it's like
it's still the rights.
It's like still like even. Like both of them are losing out on a lot. Like Nylander's losing.
So it makes sense to make a bridge deal. At least sign a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal.
In my opinion, I can see Nylander losing more because Toronto, at the end of the day, like they'll like you said, lose their cup aspirations. But it's like
Nylander's
you have the rights to him still. You can still trade him if he's
tough.
Being a
I don't know. It's definitely a lose-lose situation.
But like, thing is, his rights are not worth that much anymore if he can't play this season.
Yeah.
So that's a huge return they're not getting anymore.
But Nylander's sitting out and just fucking.
You gotta remember,
you're getting no money the whole year.
Nylander is also losing potential money and potential development time.
Yeah.
Playing in the NHL teams. So it's definitely a lose-lose. It's kind of hard to say. Like, I guess you're picking your poison, really. Like, who do you think is worse? It's tough.
If I had to pick one, I'd say Nylander for sure.
Moving on, UFC. Conor and
Cowboy Cerrone.
The fight's happening.
It's a potential fight. It's always iffy with Conor. I mean, it comes out of nowhere. These kind of news.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. Apparently, it's just about to be signed and just waiting on Conor McGregor. I don't know. I don't believe it, man. Conor's like one of those guys. Like you never know until he comes out and says himself, like I want to fight him.
Till it's announced, till the day of the fight, you can't believe shit. You know.
Exactly.
But he has 6-7 more fights under his contract.
Yeah,
And
something
his-
like that.
Has 7 more, I think.
And his last fight was in September.
Yeah,
So,
that was-
so I think it's right about 6 months after his or 5 months after his fight.
Someone
Makes
like Cerrone fights very often. I think every 4 months, and he just fought like a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
But then again, everyone knows it depends on Conor. Like no one gives a fuck about Cerrone at the end of the day when Conor's involved, right?
so we're not gonna see a Conor Ferguson fight anytime soon.
No, dude, Ferguson
way.
should be fighting Khabib soon.
Khabib?
Yeah.
Khabib.
That's
no
going to be an amazing fight, man.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you
so,
think?
so no suspensions for Khabib or
No,
I
I
don't
think they
think
already
so.
went
Nothing-
over that.
nothing came out?
Nothing's coming.
Ferguson's that fight.
Nothing
Nothing's
talks about as
before.
board
Nothing's
of.
happened by now. There's no way like anything's happened unless he got like busted for peds or something. But that's like
Yeah.
a whole
Who,
another.
Ferguson or
Any
any of
like yeah.
surprising, man. If either of them got caught, like I wouldn't expect it. But yeah, that's definitely the next fight. I don't see Conor and Ferguson happening for at least a year or two.
Or a Conor. What would happen first? A Conor McGregor Ferguson fight or Conor McGregor and Khabib rematch?
Could
The
be
thing
rematch.
is-
Rematch?
Yeah, see, because UFC will bend over backwards for Conor
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
to get that money.
I think there's that rematch, and there's supposed to be another rematch between Nate Diaz.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
McGregor.
that fight too. I completely
Yeah.
forgot about that.
So we'll see what happens.
His brother's
in the future.
fighting. His brother's coming back. Nick Diaz is
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Who's he fighting again? Do you remember? Was it Lawler? It was Lawler, I
Might
think,
be.
right?
Yeah.
I'll look it up after. But like, that's gonna be a sick fight, man. Nick Diaz is a big draw.
So
And he's a
Fucking-
fucking beast too.
Is that like first fight in like 5 years or something like that?
Something like that. He got caught for marijuana.
Yeah.
That was back when marijuana was like, they took him off for I don't know how long.
And then he kind of like just didn't want to fight either, right?
Yeah, because they're like swimming in that Diaz Conor McGregor money. Like they
Oh,
made $2
yeah,
million off that. So they fucking just took their sweet ass time and did not want to fight. They didn't care about fighting. They're just doing their own thing.
what was the first round knockout about with Ngannou?
Yeah, so that was a fight with against Curtis Blades. I had Blades winning the fight, and fucking Ngannou comes back and just KOs him or TKOs him.
Finally, right?
Yeah,
Back
like,
to his fucking
That's what he
classic
fight
shit.
against his fight against Lewis.
Yeah, he kind of just brought it back, eh? Or sorry, his last fight was in July, right? Before this.
I don't know when it was, but if it was in
It
July,
was against
in
Lewis,
July.
right?
Huh?
His last.
That was a
fight?
Lewis fight.
That was
Yeah,
the one. The one.
yeah, it was in
nothing
July. It
happened.
was in July.
Where he literally just backed up, didn't go
Yeah.
aggressive at all, was never on the attack.
Yeah.
I guess he kind of is kind of like a resurgence almost, eh?
For both of them, they're both like scared as fuck from each other. Lewis and
Yeah.
and
Ngannou.
Ngannou, yeah.
Yeah. And then Lewis came against.
And that fight, because Ngannou was the number one contender. He was number one. So and Lewis was like, I don't know, 5 or something like that. And that pushed Lewis to number 2, which got him the Cormier fight. So that bullshit ass win, it's not a bullshit win, it's a bullshit fight. And that's what got Lewis to like the fame that he got to, right?
Yeah.
But regarding Ngannou, like he finally came back, finally got back into the picture of what he's worth and what he is to the UFC. Like when he had that Stipe fight, they were pumping him so much. Like they wanted him to be like the next.
Yeah, they
star.
wanted because they don't give a fuck about Stipe.
They didn't know,
Yeah.
and Dana White would always pump Ngannou to talk about how much he hit, like how hard
Yeah.
he hit. So stupid. I remember Stipe would make fun of it too, but
And then to watch the like Golden Boy lose is like
yeah, because he's not gonna fucking beat Cormier.
Yeah.
Like he might get hit, but like Cormier's gonna take him down, and like there's just guys like that. Like it's after the first round for heavyweights, it's not much of a fight.
yeah. It's just a fucking wrestling.
Yeah, because if you get Russell fucked, you get too tired.
Yeah.
Real quick, we're gonna see 2 more cards in 2018, right? In December.
Yeah.
Which one are you looking forward to the most?
Holloway,
Yeah, Holloway Ortega.
sick fucking 2 weeks.
It's gonna be the
It's in 2 weeks.
It's potential to be fight of the year. It's
Yeah.
that good of a fight, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the backstory behind that? Just we have a few minutes.
Holloway's
Ortega's
just a
undefeated.
fucking killer, and Ortega's like this up and coming fucker. You know.
yeah. Who's undefeated? He's like 26. Well, Holloway's like 28, 29 too. They're both young as fuck, and they're both like. Holloway has like a 10-11 fight win streak.
Yeah.
And he finished Aldo twice.
Yeah.
And he's like, his last loss was to McGregor in like, I don't know how many years ago when McGregor was like, and McGregor couldn't even finish him at
Yeah.
145, which should say a lot because McGregor killed everyone at 145, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Holloway is very durable, and I don't see him getting finished. I have Who do you have for this fight, by the way?
I like Holloway too much to not cheat for him.
Yeah, I got Holloway too, man. Ortega fucking finished Edgar, so it's like
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
yeah, but Ortega got caught for PEDs before, so it's like he's like fucking. He's a huge 145er, really big guy. So
that fight's just Saturday, December the 8th.
2 weeks from now. So I think the 8th would it be?
Yeah. Any other fights you guys are looking forward to for that?
John
Jones return.
John Jones.
Is that the same card?
That's card.
That's the one after that.
Card.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that'll do it for our podcast for this week. See you guys next week.